Mm-hmm. Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Jeff, are we on record?
Should be recording it. Yes, it says upper left. Recording.
Okay. Okay. Meeting's open. First order of business is questions from the public and press, and since they aren't able to participate at this time, we'll go past that one. Next order of business is student teacher recognition. Do we have anything for that, Dr. Collins?
No. Do you have something, Mr. Cochran?
I just wanted to recognize Melissa Scudder, Danielle Brown, and then Irene for their work with, there's a lot of front-loaded work getting our report cards digital and sent out electronically. So I do want to recognize their efforts to help us kind of with this unique situation, but they have done a lot of work to make sure school tools up to date so we can do some of these things. And I'll explain more of that when I talk about report cards with what they actually did. But those three did quite a bit.
Okay, thank you. That we move on to our consent agenda. Second. I have a motion and a second regarding the consent agenda. Are there any questions regarding the consent agenda? Since I don't hear any, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Our next order of business is district updates. Dr. Collins?
All right, a lot has happened since the last time that we worked together. The asbestos abatement has taken place. The air quality is done. We're clear on that. Contractors have been able to resume work along with their subcontractors. The old playground has been removed, and we're hopeful that by sometime in June, that the flooring will be done. The energy performance contract, they've told us that the new boiler should be installed within the next week. They're going to extend our warranty because we won't be running it other than the test. So they're going to extend that warranty because it won't go into real service again until the fall. The old boiler had several tubes inside that exploded through, and they were replaced as specialty welding. So new tubes were put in, and they have been welded. So the old boiler does now work again. We are waiting on word for our capital outlay project for the windows because the company that manufactures the windows shut down as part of the COVID-19 shutdown. So we're going to hear from them. We did get our order in, so we are in line when they start. We should be in a good place. I do not have word yet. As you know, capital outlay projects will be done in the same fiscal year. I don't know if there'll be any extension on that because of the close down on construction. There isn't word on hold on that yet. Our hot water tank, the project completed, and the emergency hot water tank completed and the final completion letter has been sent to the state for that. Our insurance company reached out to us and said that they've got a special offer because we're not transporting students and using buses as normal, that any bus we were willing to lay up and take off of the road, that they would give us insurance credit for that. So we are able to take all but 3 of our buses, the 3 that are delivering food. So we now know when the year will be for us, for students and staff. It will be June 12th. And I'll get that calculation. We now have that. We all were under the impression, and I think I told you that we were going to have to do food deliveries throughout the summer. That was based on a comment that the governor made at one of his press conferences, and but no subsequent executive orders have come related to that. So now the interpretation is that it'll end when our food ends. So that it'll end when the year ends. So our last day for that food delivery will be June 8th. The backpack program will continue, though, because we still have families that are in need. And you can see around the cafeteria here some of the pallets of backpack food, and we made another order, so that should be coming right before the next delivery, which will be June, as this program, as our regular food delivery program ends. I'm going to speak progress because I know Mr. Hoffman's going to speak to that. So we've got advice from the county public health about reopening the valve. Their suggestion is to ease back into bringing staff on. They'll bring them all on at once, try to maintain social distancing. The next phase, if we are successful and the rates of COVID don't rise in the county, the next phase 2 of reopening will be June 1st. And then we would look at upping staff again. That's successful. So we're looking to have our custodial staff in 24 hours a week. We've got them on slightly different schedules, alternating days, so there's only 2 here on any one day, but because we have them in one group on 2 days a week, it's another group on 4 days a week, there is a day where they overlap. I mentioned in an update to you previously that we've school physician contract there looking for $10,000. I'm still exploring options. I do believe that if we can find a doctor, they would probably do that for considerably less than $10,000. As you all know, we have 3 board candidates. We have Thomas Morrison. We have Janine, the incumbent, and Jerry Wilson. And normally the names are drawn by lots, but by executive order they're going to be listed alphabetically. So we'll go Tom, Janine, and Jerry. The school, the elementary school was recognized by New York State as a recognition school, which means that it's high achieving projects. In St. Lawrence County, there were only 2 schools that made that recognition. Kudos to the elementary staff and administrators for that. Both Ms. Reed and Week 12 was here last year.
Thank you, Dr. Collins. We're on to new business. Our first order of business, personnel. We have a letter of retirement. Part of Remington.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried, and we wish her the best.
10 more weeks, 6.
Did I miss 6? Thank you. I saw the yellow and I skipped right over it. So, my mistake. So we're back to number 6. Thank you, Jeff. Number 6 is resolutions to destroy last year's ballot. motion and a second.
Second.
Have a motion said. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay, back to personnel. Our next thing is, tentative decisions on tenure. We table that to exec and do it after, or they're reporting on these people in exec?
So, Mr. Coffin will be reporting on them and then also on the, more broadly on the tenure staff. So if you, I don't believe that anything that he has to say regarding these two teachers would need to be in executive session.
To act on it now. And your recommendations.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion regarding this? Okay, I have a motion and a second, and your decision. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next, we have a thing for additional election tellers, being that we're doing this in 2A. It's hard to know how it's going to go down, so we want to have some additional election tellers on it. Doesn't increase, but a lot of ballots. I need a motion and a second, Mary?
Motion.
Okay. Any discussion or questions regarding these additional tellers?
I just add that there's the potential to have over 1,000 more votes than or 1,500 more votes than we typically have in an election because we are mailing everyone a ballot. So, and the counting will start at 5:01 on June 9th. So instead of making it a very late night, to have additional staff.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next, we have the non-unit salary sheet. We usually update it every 2 years, but this year we're getting a recommendation to freeze it. I need a motion and a second to accept the non-unit.
Motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to go. Dr. Collins, would you like to discuss this a little?
Sure. Normally, this is a fairly automatic list of folks who aren't in a unit. I've represented collectively, and pretty much we do automatically. But I'm recommending that we put a freeze, so that you put a freeze on all pay raises and hiring until we have a sense of the budget actually is going to be. Right now, we don't know what our revenue will be because of this adjustment that's in limbo. So once we know that, we can make an informed decision. I'm not in any way opposed to an increase, but I just think it would be prudent. We should know what our revenue is before we start hiring.
Okay. Any questions regarding this? Okay, I have a motion and a second on the non-unit salary sheet. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Now, we're on to adopt the proposed budget. I would like, if we can,
Mr. Robinson, can you give an overview of the budget? It's the same budget that was presented 2 meetings ago.
Yes, that's the budget we talked about. We had a list of $187,000 items that we backed out of it. That included the couple of the ELA teacher, the JV sports. We looked at capping the teacher's contract. I originally budgeted 4%. Also, special ed, we were able to knock some of that off. So the new budget is at $12,136,504. That's pretty much. I think it's there in your packet. Basically, that is lowering our fund balance, appropriated fund balance, to $996.20, and also considering that we're going to do the 3.65 or 3.63 on the tax levy increase, which is our property tax cap limit.
Our financial advisor, Dr. Chins, has recommended, again, because we don't know what our revenue is going to be, that we should go out with this budget, knowing that we can then tighten the belt if we need to. But if we were to prematurely, preemptively make restrictions and then get more for a federal stimulus or something, we would end up harming the school, and not just this year, but moving forward.
Any questions for Mr. Bill regarding the budgets? Okay, I need a motion then to adopt the budget. So I have a motion. Second. If there are no questions at this time, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We have a new number 10, which is the property tax report card, which I believe was passed out to everybody except maybe.
This is the document that I have to certify with the state when the budget's adopted. And just because of the time frame this year, normally we do it in April, but the way things have went down here and the delays and stuff, we just wanted to get your approval so I can just, Bill can do the final certification for that. Basically, comparing what our budget was last year, this year, it lists our reserves. That's a new requirement that started last year of listing those and where we project that those are going to be as of June 30th. So that's what that document is. It's also part of the public documents, which we'll make public tomorrow on the website. I'll email that to Steph and she'll put those up on the website. So that's what that document is.
Okay. I need a motion and a second to accept the property tax report card.
Motion.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions regarding the property tax report card? Mike, Tremper, Stephanie will forward you a copy of it. Yeah, I think she just did. Yep, she just did. So it should be in your email.
Okay. Thank you.
There's no questions. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Next, we have the BOE final commitment form. I need a motion and a second regarding that. I have a motion and a second regarding the BOCES final commitment form. Any questions regarding this? I'm not seeing any. All in favor? Opposed? Motion Motion is carried. Next, we have an Area 6 Director nomination. Guess we can make a motion in favor of Wayne. Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
And a second. Are there any questions regarding this position? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Next, we're up to update the building principals. Mr. Coughlin.
All right, so I have 3 updates. The first is on driver's ed. We had no viable applicants to fill in for our retired driver's ed instructor from last year. And then we're also facing the complications of maintaining social distancing while doing special education. So right now, we are not going to be having driver's ed offered at PHCS, and it's looking like BOCES will not be offering driver's ed either. So there may not be any driver's ed offered for the summer based on where we stand right now. The next update is on report cards. So a big change for this marking period. We did change to a pass-fail for grades 7-12, and then it was an engaged or not engaged for K6. So all report cards were changed to reflect either those categories. We went away from numerical reporting for this marking period and the next one. And then all of the report cards themselves were pushed out electronically. So with School Tool, we have Parent Portal, and we can also publish report cards. So we no longer have to print and then mail and incur those extra costs. But we've had the ability to do this. We've just never really had that push to just go forward with it. So all 7-12 report cards were published and can be viewed on Parent Portal. At the K6 level, the teachers did individual report cards and then emailed them to teachers and then set up conferences. So we're kind of working through that. Some parents are working to figure out the School Tool piece. Melissa Scudder put together some pretty good directions. We sent that out to all students as well so they can access it as well. Any parent that can't access it or would rather have a paper copy can still request that and we'll mail it. But if you think about it, we have 6 marking periods. By going electronically, it cuts down 6 times we have to print and then 6 mass mailings, which actually adds up to quite a bit throughout the year. So that's the update on report cards. And the last update is on a lot of the end of year events that you may or may not have heard a lot about. So we did put out a one call now and committed ourselves to a virtual commencement. Though it's not necessarily the preferred option, it's the only option right now that we can really move forward with planning based on the restrictions we have from public health in the state. If time allows and restrictions and certain things are lifted, we will try to do possibly an in-person, but there's a meeting on June 2nd with public health where we might get more clarity as to what's going to be happening. But there is a lot of front-loaded work attached to a virtual commencement. So I did want to get parents, kids kind of prepared for the inevitability of that. But it also lets us start working on how we put that together and what we put together. The format of our senior high graduation will drive the formats of the kindergarten and the 6th grade graduations. I know they do end of the year ceremonies as well. So all of those will kind of be based on whatever we can do for the seniors. And then the senior high graduation is still slated to take place the 27th of June at 11:30. The only other 2 events we have coming up, we are going to have a senior cap and gown pickup this Wednesday. We will have some staff present to kind of cheer them on and hand out some things for the seniors. We will do it following all social distancing guidelines and make sure we maintain the number of people we can have for the restrictions on groups. And then we are, I think June 11th, we are going to be having a district-wide parade. So the RAP team is going to be organizing a parade of teachers, staff. They mentioned a fire truck, a bus, all sorts of stuff. And that will take place right before the last day of school. So that's what we have coming up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Beth.
I just want to jump in that that meeting that's going to take place with public health, it was misreported in the newspaper. That was already taking place. The superintendent already met with public health. It was thought that that was going to happen, but public health availability where it's moved to June 2nd. So even though the newspaper said that meeting is already occurred, it's not. So we won't have publicly think that we have that information. We'll have that information until we have that meeting. And in the update that came out that spoke about how many people we can have gatherings, there was another piece about it. It said that graduations would be in phase 4. So we're in phase 1, June phase 2. I imagine if it goes well, the middle of June will be phase 3. So that we're going to be right sort of aligned with that. So if it turns out that restrictions are lifted, perhaps we could go over into the next phase.
Thank you. In our packets are events of interest, items of interest. No, there are no items of interest. Events of interest are included in your packets with the agenda. At this point, I need a motion for executive session to discuss tenured staff. Motion for executive session. Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That executive can't go out, people.
So we need to be Mike and
They're gonna send, Mike, they're gonna send you a new link for the executive session.
Okay.
Steve, did you get an invitation to that? I just want to see if it went out at all. The
I'm checking.
Zoom meeting called exec.
Who would have sent that?
It would have been sent from. It would have been sent from the same account that sent this one. It was Frank Perry sent it up. Set it up.
I don't have that, but once you open it, you can, if someone goes into the invite portion, you can just send an email invite once it's opened.
All right. We'll do that.
Okay, both of you guys should receive that in just a minute, and then we'll start exactly.